Hey, babes, welcome back to the Purpose Show podcast. Today, we're going to get into more science, your favorite non scientists, obsessed with science, mostly neuroscience. And we're going to talk about everything that goes into self confidence and increasing, boosting your self confidence. Background story that probably no one cares about. There is like a handful of comments and DMs that I get on a consistent basis. And one of them is, "How are you so confident?" Which is wild because I have not been in the past and sometimes regularly am not. However, I'm kind of obsessed with confidence because it's so powerful, even if you're kind of like faking it or having to create it out of nowhere, which is totally fine and does work. And we'll get into this. But acting/being confident is an absolute game changer for literally everything: dating, business, friendship, walking into literally anywhere. When criminals, um, rapists are interviewed, they all collectively agree that if a woman is carrying herself like she's a baddie, she is not a victim, and they move on to someone else. Like, there is just so much to say about carrying yourself a certain way. And so I want to get into like the research on self-confidence, and then we're going to get into specifics of how to increase your fucking confidence, because you're out here walking around like this is not your story and this is not your world, and it fucking is. There are like so many little things. Like, I'm like, when I said a minute ago that I'm obsessed with confidence, I truly am. It has changed my life to become obsessed with confidence and the research on confidence and what makes you confident and what makes you appear more confident. Little things that I've done, like literally just talking slower, like slowing the F down and not being so like hyperactive and manic and like having to fill the silences, and just sitting back and pausing before I respond to something that someone has said and speaking more like this is such a confidence thing. Like, it makes you look and feel so fucking confident. Um, so just little things like that, and it's such a I'm not even shitty. Like, it's such a game changer. So we're gonna let's like I keep saying we're gonna get into, bitch. Just let's get into it. The research on self-confidence is one of my favorite things. If you do not nerd out on this, then just kind of like just kind of daze out for a minute, because I'm gonna sit in this for a second and then we're gonna get into how it affects you. But I fucking love research and getting into facts. So we're gonna do it. So in 2006, Carol Dweck did research on people who have a growth mindset versus like a scarcity lack mindset. And her research showed that believing that your abilities can improve through effort leads to higher confidence levels and resilience in the face of setbacks. So just simply believing that you can get better at things and that whatever you try, you can do, leads to higher confidence. And it's really funny to me because, like, if you try something and you focus on trying something and getting good at something, like, girl, A plus B equals C, you're gonna get better at it. Obviously, like, practice makes perfect. We know this. So if you just believe this fucking fact, you automatically increase your confidence. So step one, do you believe that you can improve anything you want by trying at it? Yes? Okay, well, you just increase your confidence. So reminding myself that if I'm nervous about speaking on stage at an event, I can practice this. I can increase my speaking ability through effort. So maybe I, join a group that lets you practice speaking. Maybe I watch, TED Talks and take notes. Maybe I watch a YouTube video on how to get better at speaking, or, hire a coach. Like, through effort, I can increase my ability in anything I want. And I do believe that. So immediate confidence boost, because you can do it. If you want to and you put effort in, you can do it. So all it takes is that belief. And why would you not believe in a fact? Okay. Side note, if you have had like past circumstances or traumas around something, and you just literally have a cemented belief, like an actual neural pathway formed that says, I cannot do this thing, or I am just not good at this thing, or I'm not the kind of person that can lose weight or accomplish this thing or speak on stages or whatever, you need neurolinguistic programming to stop that thought pattern, and you need energetic encoding to replace it with a new belief and literally encode it into your mind so it's no longer a belief. It's just not an issue at all. And you are literally the kind of person that loses weight, does great at speaking on stage, et cetera, et cetera. Side note, I know this like really cool girl. She's like such a vibe, and she does that for people. It's me. That was really annoying. I'm sorry. I'm in a weird mood today. All right, moving on. There was a study done by Dr. Kristen Neff. And she does work on self-compassion, and her work indicated that being kind to yourself during a failure drastically reduces anxiety and boosts self-confidence, allowing people to move forward without harsh self-judgment. Now, what I love about this research is that what makes us lack confidence is our inner critic and criticism from the outside as well. But we are usually our own worst critic. So if you just like if you fuck up and you're just like, you know what, I'm going to have some compassion on myself. I'm a human being and it's okay. Like, I'm a human being. I'm flawed just like everybody else, and that's okay. So like, come at me, bitches. I really don't care. That's self-compassion. That's self-acceptance. That's going to lower your anxiety drastically, it said. And then it's going to boost your self-confidence because you got you. And you love and accept yourself, even when you're not perfect, especially when you're not perfect. And so this increases your confidence because, yeah, you've got you and you're all you've got. So that's amazing. I think that's really beautiful. And I think that's a really beautiful connection to confidence, that I wouldn't think that self-compassion would lead to a boost in confidence. But the fact that research shows that it indeed does, I just think that's really beautiful. Amy Cuddy, she is a researcher who focused on power poses, and she found that doing like expansive body postures leads to a pretty significant increase feeling of confidence and reduced stress. Now this has been debated in later studies, but basically like standing in the Wonder Woman pose for, I think it's 17 seconds, drastically boosts your confidence. And like, so people will do that before they go and do something that's like, like I said, speaking on stage or giving a TED talk or whatever. Going into a conversation, going into a business meeting, asking for a promotion or a raise, like going into a job interview, and it helps because, and I think this makes sense because of the mind-body connection. The mind-body connection is something that I have been studying for well over a year, and I'm continuing to study even as we speak. And it's fascinating. So this makes perfect sense to me, and I've tried it myself. If you're like slumped down and your body language is like a shit show, you feel that way. If you're standing up and like what the Wonder Woman pose, like legs kind of spread, hands on your hips, just feels ridiculous, but it is a very powerful pose, and subconsciously you're like, I'm Wonder Woman right now. I'm confident as hell. You start to feel that way after, 17 seconds or whatever it is. So the mind-body connection is very real, and it's working all the time. We might as well make it work for us. It's kind of the vibe. Okay. Visualization techniques. So there's research done by Shelley Taylor. Love how these are all women, by the way. I did not do that on purpose. Women are just baddies. Basically, Shelley Taylor's research showed that mentally rehearsing success scenarios, so mentally rehearsing that something you're going to do goes well, increases the self-efficacy, how do you say that word? Self-efficacy? I don't know. I'm trying not to like stray too far from what the research, like the final result of the research was, but I don't talk like that, so I don't know what that word is. But basically, it increases your confidence in real world tasks. So it increases your confidence when you're actually doing the thing you've been mentally rehearsing, which enhances your overall performance at the thing. So in the certification program that I just finished, they teach us that if you mentally rehearse, let's go back to the speaking on stage example. Speaking on stage at an event and you see yourself with what you're going to wear, you look and feel great. You're speaking very clearly and calmly and confidently, and the audience is really responding to you. And you're mentally rehearsing it. It literally fires all the different parts in your brain and even your body. If your body is a part of what you're mentally rehearsing, like if you're an athlete and you're rehearsing, like, making contact with the ball in baseball, or, shooting hoops in basketball and like swishing, buckets every single time. It activates the parts of your mind and body needed to make that happen. And your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagining it and actually doing it. So by the time you go to actually do the thing, actually shoot the ball, actually swing the bat, actually speak on the stage, your mind is like, oh, we've got this. We do this all the time. And it's like your confidence is way enhanced. So if you want to get better at setting boundaries and being more confident, imagine yourself doing that. By the time you come to the point where you actually need to set the boundary, sending that text or having that conversation is like 1,000 times easier because you've been practicing it and you've already fired those parts of your brain that you need to do that thing. And it's like normal and familiar, and your brain is marking it as safe and normal and typical. There were studies done on self-talk that have found that positive and affirming internal dialogue improves performance and boosts confidence, particularly in sports and high-pressure situations. So this is why when I'm on the way to something, like, again, speaking at an event or being like on someone's podcast that's like their podcast like is a really big deal, or having a new client, anything that would maybe make me like normally feel unsettled, I talk to myself. I talk to myself on the drive. I talk to myself in the shower before. I'm like audibly talking to myself literally out loud and just saying like, this is yours. You've got this. Like, they want to have you on their podcast because you're amazing and your message is important. And what matters here is not you performing, just you showing up real and raw as yourself. That's why people love you. And speaking what you have to say. Like, I talk to myself and I talk to myself positively. And that boosts my confidence, like, major. You could even just do this every day just because it's a fucking Wednesday and you want to. Okay. Okay. So let's switch to, now that we've gotten into like, okay, this is a fact that you can increase your self-confidence, that the way you think, the way you talk about yourself, the way you picture things going has a significant impact on the results of what actually physically happens, but also how you feel and your confidence level, which, spoiler alert, if you're feeling confident about something, that is absolutely going to affect how things turn out and make it go probably a lot better. So that's amazing. But let's shift into some personal stuff of like, I had been such a person like of self-doubt. Like, I was such a self-doubting person. I just really didn't trust myself, really didn't believe in myself. And I didn't want to ever look stupid or be judged. That was a huge fear of mine. And so I would avoid certain things and just like live out of fear. And so how did I become so confident? How was I able to show up on social media, put myself in front of hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis? How was I able to like start and grow this podcast to 11 million downloads, continue to, build and rebuild my business, my brand, showing up, and going from, a broke as fuck stay-at-home mom who was really just not vibing, not feeling fulfilled, and creating everything that I have today and continue to do that. I sat with this for actually quite some time, and I wrote out a list of how I overcame self-doubt and grew my confidence organically because I'm no longer like faking it. There may be moments where I'm like, shit, I don't really like know this as well as I know some other things, but I'm just gonna kind of like pretend I do and like just go into this with confidence, even though don't really have any about this specific issue or topic or whatever. And sometimes side note, sometimes being confident is just saying like, you know what? I don't actually know that much about this, but I'm curious. Let's get into it together. Let's look this up. Let's Google it. That's fucking confident because you don't have to know it all. So side note, but you know what I mean. But other than that, my confidence is so organic and I have truly instilled it in myself. And so this is the list of things that came up for me when I kind of sat with this question and asked myself it and really just like almost asked my higher self, like, what can I give these women? What was the process? Because it's hard to like be self-aware and like analyze yourself, especially in something that's like a very long journey of self-improvement and growth. So I feel really good about this list and it all feels like really accurate, really organic, and really true. So here it is. Number one is truly, truly, truly learning to love myself and like actually love myself. Going from where I was absolutely disconnected from myself, no idea who the fuck I was, not really liking what I saw of myself, being programmed to, disconnect from myself because of religious upbringing. You can't just jump to loving yourself. There's steps. I first needed to get to like the realization that I did not know myself and accepting that. I had to grieve that actually. It was a whole process and maybe another episode for another day. And then there was neutrality towards myself. And then there was, wow, there's some parts of me that I really don't like. How do I feel about this? Why am I like that? Where does this come from? And really like getting to know myself and giving space for myself. Then it was like, okay, I kind of like myself. I'm pretty cool. Like, she a vibe. Then it moved up and up and up and up until it was like love myself, adore myself, and respect myself. Like it transitioned from it evolved, I should say, from there. But going through that process and truly learning to love myself, that increased my confidence like crazy and helped me overcome self-doubt because again, in the end, really, truly, guys, we are who we've got. Spouses can come and go. They can leave this earth. Friends come and go. Family comes and goes. But you've got you. So when you truly create space to know yourself and get to the point of loving yourself, your confidence increases. Like it's a symptom of self-love because you know you've got you and you know you love you. It sounds so fucking cheesy, but it's real. That's the first thing that came to me and it just felt so true and so right. I obviously had to put it on the list. Number two is looking at my mistakes and seeing myself for who I was in those moments instead of that mistake is who I am. I did that. I said that. I hurt this person or did that, whatever. And that's who I am. No, looking at my mistakes and seeing myself for who I was in those moments and then having empathy for myself and seeing the lessons that I walked away from those experiences with, that helped me overcome self-doubt and increase my confidence and my self-love because I am not what I did. I am not what I do. I am not what I did. I am not my mistakes. I am not my successes. I am my soul. And when things are done out of the ego mind, out of, hurt people. And, we all go through so much pain. So when I was in a state of hurt, if I caused hurt to myself or to someone else or made a mistake or whatever, seeing myself for who I was in that moment and then having empathy for myself and then also like getting real with myself and like doing whatever I can to fix the situation, that increased my confidence because it's like, it's okay. I'm a human being. What a mess I made. I'm going to see myself for who I was in that moment and I see the hurt. I see where this came from. I love and accept myself. I have empathy for myself. And now I'm going to be a big girl and I'm going to go fix it as much as I can. And I can't control how people receive that or if they even receive it, but I can do my part and like be responsible. That makes me confident. It makes me feel like I'm a human and I fuck up, but wow, I'm proud of myself. I'm a good person. I've got this. I did the right thing as best I could after the fuck up. That is going to increase your confidence. So being that kind of person. If you're not doing that, then you're going to go into situations or like avoid going into situations because you don't feel like a good person. You don't feel confident that you handle things right. And so you're going to like avoid certain people, avoid certain things because you didn't really handle it and show up in the way that you're proud of. Number 3 is I created a daily ritual that really deeply supported me and actually was like, felt like an act of honoring myself enough to be consistent with it. That made me hella confident because I am capable of creating consistency and so are you. No one is too busy to be consistent with something that's going to support them. If you're not doing what's going to support you, it's because it's not a priority. And for me, not sticking with something this good, like my morning or not even morning, daily, just whenever at some point in the day, my daily ritual, I call it the daily reprogramming ritual. I created it. It's been so supportive of me, so supportive of the girls in the collective membership, so supportive of my clients. If you haven't tried it, you can go on my website and look at the free shit tab and go under lifestyle mindset and click on the Becoming Her blueprint, and it will give you everything you need to know, and it's free. But for me, not sticking with something like this, like something that truly serves me and supports me, is simply not prioritizing myself. So how can you have confidence in yourself if you don't even prioritize yourself? If you're not even your own fucking priority, how can you have confidence? You don't even love yourself, like at the bare minimum. So creating something that's deeply supportive of me and then loving myself enough to create consistency with that massively increased my confidence. Again, because I've got me and I love me and I take care of me and I'm consistent for me and I have empathy for me and all these things that we're talking about. Number 4, dealing with the beliefs that I held about myself. Like the beliefs that I held about myself 5 years ago, even just like a few years ago, they were things like I am inherently bad or, sinful from religious programming. If I do things for myself, then I am selfish. Things like I am both too much and not enough at the same time. Those are things that I had, like those were neural pathways that were in my subconscious mind. Those were things that were deeply rooted beliefs I held about myself, about who I am at an identity level. And so because of that, my brain, my neural pathways were formed in that. And my brain and my reticular activating system and all the parts of my brain were programmed to operate out of that. So I would see proof that those things were true because your subconscious mind is always going to prove you right, whatever you believe. So you want to change what you're seeing, change what you're getting. You need to change what you're believing. And so looking at those things and really dealing with it is really like 5 years ago or so, how I got really into neuroscience and psychocybernetics and really understanding the unconscious because it's such a big deal and it impacted me so much. So the beliefs I hold about myself now versus those old shitty beliefs are things like I am inherently divine and worthy of everything I desire. I love and honor myself and my needs. Anything I need is valid and I will take care of it for myself, And things like I take my place in this world. I stand in my power. And that power includes being flawed and human. If someone perceives me as too much, they can go find less. These are the beliefs I hold about myself now. And it's just really like helped me enter my don't give even the tiniest little fuck era. And not in a hateful or selfish way, in an empowered, you don't get to affect me negatively without my permission way. And that increases your confidence. There are also, like you guys know, I can't just go off of the practicality and the neuroscience. I've got to get into like the energetic stuff. But like There are so many energetic strategies for building self-confidence in daily life that have so deeply supported me. I'm going to go through this list a bit more quickly than the rest of this episode, but I want to give these things to you as well. So first of all, energy clearing rituals. Energetically clearing your doubts, any negative self-talk, grounding yourself, visualizing yourself, kind of like shedding old limitations, using Palo Santo and cleansing yourself and like really releasing old stagnant energy, old stagnant beliefs, anything from like having a bad day or a negative conversation or going through like a negative thought spiral. This creates space for that confident, empowered energy. It's not like the Palo Santo is magic and it does something. Like, not everybody believes that, including me. It's more of like the act, like you give the Palo Santo the power. You give the selenite crystal the power. Like, you're putting your intention into these things, and that's why it's aiding you in clearing. And the act of clearing your energy makes you feel clear. So it's not this weird, like, woo, witchy magic. It's literally you, babe. Like, you've got the power. You're a powerful creator. Okay. Next one is embodied self-praise. So don't just like list your wins and praise yourself for like how awesome you are, but like really feel it. Take a moment to embody the energy of everything you've overcome and all your past successes. Like, stand up tall. I do this in the shower. Stand up tall, take a deep breath, and really anchor the feeling of accomplishment into your body to remind yourself of who the fuck you are and all you're capable of. Intentional positive self-talk. This is far more than just affirmations. I actually created some chat GPT prompts for you that are going to help you create affirmations that are specific to rewiring your specific limiting beliefs and what you're struggling with. You can go get that for free at alicasaza.com/TPS links. But yeah, intentional positive self-talk is huge, and ChatGPT will literally create this for you. You just need to give it some information about what you're struggling with and what you want to rewire, what you want to work through, and how you want to feel. Magic. Okay. Conscious boundaries practice is a huge self-confidence booster. Basically, this is setting and upholding boundaries that honor your energy and values. Knowing that you've got you and you're protecting your time and energy, that boosts your inner confidence and self-respect. Because again, how can you have confidence if even you don't respect you, if even you don't take care of you? Another energetic strategy for building self-confidence in daily life is something that is called micro dares. So this is like baby steps, like little baby practices of confidence building. So you take one small but bold action every day. I did mine for 2 weeks. That pushes you slightly out of your comfort zone. So these little micro dares add up and they build resilience and they make unfamiliar situations feel empowering. So one example could be like if the server at a restaurant gives you the wrong beverage and you normally would just be like, oh, it's good, I'll just drink it. Instead being like, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I actually asked for a Diet Coke. Whatever it is, like that is a micro dare. So things like that. Another micro dare example is the one I mentioned at the beginning. I started talking slower and like taking a minute before responding to anything that anyone said. Massive confidence boost. Also low key, like a power play. And people just treat you different. They treat you with more respect, and that also boosts your confidence. So walking without looking down is another micro dare, things like that. Another one is energetic mirror work. So standing in front of a mirror, looking into your own eyes and affirm your strengths and your intentions for yourself. Really seeing yourself sending like waves of self-assurance and confidence while you look into your own eyes is incredibly powerful. Another one is authentic voice activation. This is where you practice speaking your truth by yourself, even in like, and then not just by yourself, but like in these little small everyday moments. This is really like reinforcing the belief that your voice does matter, and that cultivates confidence in you because again, how could you be confident if you don't even have if you don't even have your own back? So it really just creates that self-assured presence. So maybe you don't stay silent when someone is, talking shit about somebody that you know and love, and they're not there to defend themselves. Maybe you say like, let's not be women that talk about other people that aren't even here. Let's talk about something else. What are you guys doing this weekend? That's speaking your truth. That's authentic voice activation. And it can be smaller than that. It's just an example. Okay. And then finally, energetic alignment check-ins or energy alignment check-ins. Throughout the day, I'll set little alarms on my phone, pause to ask, is my energy aligned with who I want to be? And just check in, gut check. And then adjust your posture, take a breath, give yourself a little mental slap and realign with confidence and purpose. Are you showing up as you want to show up? Are you really being who you want to be? All right, my loves. I'm going to ask you all for something. Reviews are everything for podcasters. They're literally everything. And because I have stepped into being my more authentic self and really just shed the vanilla girl mask I wore for so long that we've talked about so much here on the pod, some people that have been around for a while are just, they're not happy with my evolving. They're projecting all over my reviews. They're triggered. And that is perfectly fine. However, I know that there are so many people that are really receiving the true me, and you're the ones that I'm here for. You're the ones I keep showing up for. And the negative Nellies can just be so damn loud. I would be forever grateful if you would please go leave a review on The Purpose Show. It could be on Spotify. It can be on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. But if you please leave a review and take a screenshot of that review and email it in to hello@allycasaza.com, we are going to give you a free hypnosis. And it is a hypnosis for stepping into your highest self. And it is an actual hypnosis. I'm officially a certified hypnotherapist, and I am going to induce a trance state for you, which is a very safe, heightened sense of awareness. You're fully in charge, and hypnotize you to stepping into your true highest self. And it will be my gift to you. You will be sent the file once we receive your screenshot. So just a little incentive and a gift from me to you to please ask for this support and to say thank you and I love you. And also love to see you sharing on social, getting other women to see this show and listen, and growing the impact and the audience, and just giving people a real voice to listen to, someone that gets it, someone that's going to speak positivity and expand their mindsets and grow them and really just help them evolve in this life, because we are not meant to stay stuck and stagnant. So thank you for taking screenshots, sharing on social. Please tag me. If I see them, I always share them. And I just love you. And I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for being in my community. And thank you for being a listener. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I love you. Don't forget to go get your ChatGPT prompts for creating your custom affirmations, allycasaza.com/TPS links. Love you guys.